Bo Bichette hopes he and the Blue Jays can take the next step in a crucial 2024 season. Hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Long Ball. Rob Wong, joined alongside by Toronto Sun Blue Jays writer Rob Longley. And Rob, a lot has been expected of Bo Bichette since he made his MLB debut, and for the most part, he's lived up to the hype. I know you recently got a chance to talk to him down at spring training about his evolving role on and off the field with this team. What were your biggest takeaways from that conversation?
Yeah, Rob, it's very much in line with the way Bo Bichette's been through his whole career. And the way I'd like to describe it is he's always been a little bit older and a little bit more mature than his age. And I think from his perspective, just turned 26 the other day, I think he realizes that and wants to be a leader in that room, and he wants his voice to be heard. And he took it to the point where he had a conversation with manager John Schneider during the off season and said, this is what I want to do. You know, I want to be a leader on this team, not just on what I do in the field, but I want my voice to be heard in the clubhouse. And the two of them talked about some of the ways that can be done. And that speaks to your point, Rob. He's very driven. He always has been. He's driven to be successful personally, but he's very driven to be successful as a team guy. And I think underlying our conversation was not so much as a sense of disappointment, but a sense of unfinished business, that this team was better than it showed the last two seasons, and that why waste that talent? Now's the time to really dig in and get the best out of everybody and the best of everybody as a whole. And I think that shows a lot of maturity and a lot of leadership from a guy who's already shown superstar tendencies in the way he plays the game, but wants to be a superstar leader as well.
Well, it feels like just yesterday, Bo and Vladdy were making their major league debuts, but here they are both just a couple of years away from free agency. And when it comes to Bo Bichette, we haven't heard a whole lot of chatter about, potential contract extensions with him. But what's your sense on the potential of him signing long-term in Toronto when that time does come to have that conversation?
Well, it almost feels as if, Rob, that Bo Bichette is the front runner if the Jays are only going to sign one of the two. I mean, obviously they would like to have both, but I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. And like from a number of aspects, I mean, one obviously is, as a young talented player like that, you would be tempted to test free agency, but then the way free agency has played out this year, maybe you would think twice about it. But I think it circles back to your original question and to certain points of the conversation that I had with Bo down in Dunedin. And I think that perhaps a lot of it hinges on what happens this year. Underlying our conversation, I think there was some disappointment in the front office in a sense that they haven't really added pieces to capitalize the strong group that's already there. And I think a lot of his decision may lie on how well this team does this year. If they don't take a step forward, then maybe free agency becomes more attractive to him. He's always been comfortable in Toronto. He's always liked the situation. He gets along very well with manager John Schneider, and him and Vlad Guerrero Jr., as you alluded to, have been together since the very start almost. They were teenagers when they were coming up through the minor leagues together. But I think a lot of it hinges on what happens with the team this year. And I think that it was a point that, as I said, wasn't said outright in our conversation, but was almost implied.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that he and Vladdy and a lot of these guys want to win, and that time the window might be coming up here very soon with this core and with this team. But as always, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. You can find all of Rob's Blue Jays coverage at the Toronto Sun.